Hey, I'm Jamunu. If you've ever felt like you're constantly hustling to get new clients, but somehow can't seem to keep them long enough to to actually build stable, predictable income, man, I get it. I've been there. Back when I started, I thought the name of the game was just getting more deals. I was like, if I can just close 5 new clients this month, I'll be all set. But guess what? The next month would roll around and half of them were gone. And that cycle, it's exhausting. You feel like you're sprinting just to stay in the same place. The real game changer, the thing that actually doubled my income, wasn't about finding more clients. It was about learning how to keep the ones I already had. And what I want to show you today is that exactly that. So in this video, I'm going to break down 5 simple but powerful steps that completely transformed how I handle clients, and more importantly, how I keep them around long term. Here's what we're going to cover today. How to identify why clients really leave. The small mindset shift that changes everything. How to build a simple but consistent retention system. The secret, creating value touch points clients actually care about. And finally, how to save a client before they cancel. And hey, before we jump in, quick note. If you're a business owner who's tired of consistently worrying about where your next client is coming from, that's literally what I help people with. I help business owners generate qualified leads or even buy leads directly from me. So you can focus on what you actually do best, which is running your business. So if that sounds like something you need, just check the link in the description or comment leads below and I'll send you more info. All right, let's dive in. Let's start with a bit of tough love here because most business owners don't actually know why their clients are leaving. We tell ourselves things like, oh, maybe they ran out of budget or maybe they weren't serious. 9 out of 10 times, that's not really the reason why. A lot of people believe that if they just deliver great results, their clients will automatically stay. Like, hey, I did my job, they should be happy. But that's not how it works. Clients don't only leave because of bad results, they often leave because they don't feel supported. Think about it like a relationship. You can be doing everything right, showing up, being consistent, but if the other person feels disconnected, it still falls apart. Business relationships are exactly the same. If your client doesn't feel connected to you, so they don't feel like you understand what they're going to, they'll quietly disappear. Now, let's say you're selling leads to a roofing company in Dallas. You deliver 60 qualified leads in a month. Awesome, right? But here's what happens behind the scenes. They start calling the leads. Some don't answer, some are busy, some are just not ready to buy. Client gets frustrated, not necessarily at you, but at the situation. And if you're not checking in during that moment, they start to lose confidence, not because you failed, but because they feel like they're failing and no one's helping them figure it out. That's how most client relationships quietly end. Not with an angry email, just with silence. So your job is to read between the lines. When results are good, but communication drops, that's a red flag. Pick up the phone, send a message, ask how things are going emotionally, not just how are the leads performing. Because when a client feels like you care about their experience, not just your metrics, that's when trust starts to build. Even when it's not your fault, maybe their staff didn't follow up on leads or they got busy, it's still your responsibility to maintain that connection. Because here's the truth, people don't cancel when they feel heard, they only cancel when they feel ignored. Here's a real example. One of my clients, an HVAC business owner in Phoenix, reached out saying they wanted to pause their campaign. Now, most people would just accept that and move on. But I asked, hey, what's not working? What's making you feel like pausing? Turns out they were short staffed and couldn't handle all the incoming leads properly. So I helped them adjust their intake process, trained the receptionist to prioritize follow-ups, set up a simple script for new inquiries. And guess what? They didn't just stay, they ended up staying for another 8 months. That's when it really clicked for me. Retention doesn't start with performance, it starts with communication. You can be the best in the world at what you do, but if your client doesn't feel supported, it won't matter. So before you go chasing new clients, take a step back and ask yourself, how well am I actually communicating with the ones I already have? That's step one, this entire retention strategy. And trust me, getting this right will already set you apart from 90% of your competitors. All right, so once I finally understood why clients were leaving, the next big question was, okay, so how do I actually make them stay? And this next part honestly changed everything for me because when you make this shift in how you see yourself, it completely transforms how your clients see you. Here's the truth. If you keep seeing yourself as as just a service provider, your clients will treat you like one. You'll always be replaceable. You'll always be one quote away from being undercut by someone cheaper. So instead, you've got to start thinking like a business partner. You're not just sending them leads, you're helping them close more deals. You're helping them grow their revenue, fix bottlenecks, and hit their goals faster. That's a huge mindset shift. When I made that switch, I stopped viewing my role as delivering and I started viewing it as collaborating. Like if a roofing client hires me, I don't just think, okay, my job is to send 60 leads this month. I think my job is to help this roofing company add $20,000 in new revenue this month. That subtle change in perspective completely changes how you communicate, how you follow up, and how you add value. Everything. And clients feel that difference. They stop seeing you as a vendor, they start seeing you as a partner in their growth. Step number two, talk like a partner. This one's all about how you communicate. See, most people talk to clients like they're handing over a transaction. Here are your leads. Hope it goes well. But partners don't talk like that. They give context, they give guidance. So instead of saying, here's your batch for this week, say something like, hey, here's your batch for this week. And based on last month's close rates, I'd focus on these top 10. They're coming from your highest converting zip codes. See the difference? That's one sentence. That one sentence instantly positions you as someone who understands their business, not just someone running ads or scraping leads. You're showing them you're paying attention not just to the numbers, but the patterns. It's subtle, but it builds massive trust over time. They start to think, man, Jem actually knows what he's talking about. He's in this with us. It's exactly where you want to be. This is another huge one. Most people only follow up when they're trying to sell something, but partners, they check in with value. For example, instead of saying, hey, just checking if you want to buy more leads, say something like, hey, I noticed roofing lead demand in Tampa is up 22% this month. Do you want to take advantage before your competitors jump in? Boom. Now you're not chasing them. You're advising them. You're not trying to get a sale. You're helping them seize an opportunity. And here's the cool part. When you do this consistently, they actually start relying on you for updates like that. They'll message you first when they're planning to scale. They'll ask for your opinion on new markets because now you're not the lead guy, you're their growth partner. When you start showing up this way as a partner, not a provider, everything changes. Clients stop ghosting you, they stop price shopping every month, and they start trusting your advice because they feel like you're invested in their success, not just your own. You go from being someone they pay to someone they depend on. And that right there, that's the mindset shift that changes the entire dynamic of your business. Once I made that change, retention got way easier. Clients weren't just staying longer, they were excited to stay. And referrals, they started coming naturally because I wasn't just providing a service anymore. I was helping them win. Now, of course, mindset alone isn't enough. You need a system, something simple, repeatable, and consistent that keeps your clients engaged and happy month after month. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about next. Let's move on to building a simple retention system. Retention doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you have a system that reminds them to show up. And trust me, you don't need some fancy CRM or expensive automation setup. I literally started with a simple Google Sheet and a couple of calendar reminders. It's not about complexity, it's about consistency. Let me break down exactly how I do it. Okay, so here it starts first. So creating a simple client tracker here. I keep a Google Sheet with just three basic columns: client name, last contact date, last check-in date. That's it. Super simple. Every time I reach out to a client, whether it's a message, an update, or just checking in, I update the last contact button. Then I immediately schedule the next one. My rule: never go more than 2 weeks without some kind of touch point. Doesn't have to be a big conversation. Sometimes just literally a quick, hey, just checking in. How are things going with the latest batch of leads? That alone keeps you top of mind. And more importantly, it prevents your clients from ever feeling forgotten. Because when clients don't hear from you, they start to wonder, are they still focused on my account? Do they still care? That tiny bit of doubt is what kills retention. So your job is to remove that doubt proactively. And the simple tracker, it makes sure no client slips through the tracks. Now, if you're like me, you've got a million things going on. Leads, delivery, sales calls, admin work. It's easy to forget small stuff. So I use automation to keep me accountable. You can literally set this up in Google Calendar, Notion, or even your phone reminders. Just set up a recurring ping for each client. Something like follow up with John, check in on campaign. Takes 2 minutes, but that 2 minute check-in could save you thousands of dollars in client lifetime value. Sometimes that little nudge, hey, I just want to make sure everything is going smoothly this week, is the thing that keeps a client from ghosting you. The cool part, it feels personal. Clients love when you check in without asking for anything. It says, hey, I care about your success, not, hey, buy more stuff for me. That's the difference between retention and churn. Now, this part is gold. Add one more column to your tracker called Notes Wins. This is where you record small successes over time. Stuff like closed $10,000 job from May batch, hired new staff to handle more leads, hit record conversion rate in June. Why I do this? Because when renewal time comes, you'll have proof of progress. Clients love data when it's about their own growth. You can literally use their own numbers to remind them of the value you've delivered. Like, imagine this. Instead of sending a plain renewal message, you say, "Hey, John, just look back through your results. You've averaged a 4.2x ROI on the last month, on the last 3 months of leads. That's incredible. Want to keep that momentum going this month." Now, that's powerful. You're not asking for a renewal, you're celebrating progress. And when you make clients feel like they're winning, they don't want to stop working with you. Okay, this one's quick but super useful, the renewal message template. And you got to have this ready. Don't wait until the last second to figure out what to say when a client's term is ending. Have a message template ready, something simple, personal, and results focused. Here's one I actually use. "Hey, client name, I reviewed your numbers from last month. Your average ROI was X from our leads. That's awesome progress. Want to keep the same setup going for this month?" It's short, casual, and confident. You're not begging, you're not pushing, you're just showing data and inviting them to continue their success story. And more often than not, they'll say yes because you've built that emotional connection and the logical justification. The system doesn't need to be fancy. You don't need $1,000 CRM or a complicated automation stack. You just need structure, something that helps you stay consistent. Because consistency builds trust, and trust is what keeps clients around for years. So if you can build this simple rhythm, check ins, small reminders, tracking wins, you'll never have to guess who's at risk of leaving again. And the best part of all, your clients actually feel like you care because you genuinely do. All right. So now you got the system. The next step is all about making those check-ins matter. What do you actually say during check-ins? Because let's be honest, if every message you send is just hey, just checking in, that just gets old fast. Clients start, you know, they start tuning it out. And the truth is, they don't want check-ins. They want value, something useful, something that makes them go, "Oh, that's actually helpful. Jam's really looking out for me." So let's talk about how to make your touch points actually matter. You got to share market insights. Once a month, send your clients a quick update about what's happening in their niche or local market. Something as simple as, "Hey, it looks like roofing lead volume in your city is up by 30% this week. Might be a good time to increase your ad spend or extend your coverage area." That one message does three powerful things. Positions you as the expert. You're the one with the intel. Gives them a reason to take action that benefits both of you. And it makes them feel informed, like they're staying ahead of their competitors. Think of it like this. Your clients are busy running their business, but they don't have time to track trends or changes in demand. So but when you bring those updates to them, you instantly become more valuable. You're not just the person who sends leads. You're their market radar. And when clients start seeing you as someone who keeps them ahead, not just keeps them supplied, they'll never want to lose that advantage. So you also got to send quick wins here, which is number two. This one's so underrated, but it's crazy powerful. Every once in a while, send your client something small that helps them win faster. For example, maybe you find a new tool that helps businesses respond to leads automatically or track conversions better. You can shoot them a message like, "Hey, just found this CRM tool that helps businesses follow up with new leads instantly. One of my clients in Miami used it and cut their response time by 40%. Thought you might like it." That's it. No pitch, no agenda, just helpfulness. And here's what happens. They'll think, "Man, Jem actually thinks about my business even when he doesn't have to." That's when loyalty starts to go beyond the contract because now you're giving them knowledge, not just deliverables. You're helping them improve how they run their business, not just what they get from you. And trust me, that's the kind of stuff clients remember. Now, you got to celebrate their success as well. And this is one of my favorite because it's so simple and so meaningful. When your clients win, celebrate with them. If they post a new project on Facebook or share a customer testimonial, leave a comment like, "That's awesome. Love seeing your business grow." Or send them a DM like, "Congrats on that new contract." Knew those leads will bring in some big wins your way. Such a small gesture, but it tells them something powerful. You're watching, you care, and you're proud of their success. That's what makes clients think that's what makes clients think This person isn't just in it for the money. They're genuinely rooting for me. And that's emotional loyalty. That's what turns a 3 month client into a 3 year client because people don't leave relationships where they feel seen. Now, step four is surprise them occasionally. And then every now and then do something unexpected. Send a little thank you card, a $10 coffee gift card, or even just a short personalized video saying, "Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for trusting me this long. I really appreciate you. Excited for what's next." You don't need to go overboard. It's not about spending money. It's about thoughtfulness. Clients don't get that kind of appreciation very often. Most people only reach out when they want payment, an upsell, or a renewal. So when you show up Ju- ju- so when you show up just to say thanks, that really sticks with people, and not a lot of people do this stuff. They'll remember it, they'll talk about it, and they'll feel a deeper connection to you because you went the extra inch, not even the extra mile, just the inch most people don't bother with. These small moments, the insights, the helpful tips, the quick wins, the celebrations, the surprises, they build something way stronger than a business transaction. They build trust, they build emotional loyalty. And the emotional loyalty, that's what keeps people from even thinking about leaving. Like they won't even think about this stuff because like they don't just value your service, they value you as a person. And when you combine this emotional connection with everything we talked about earlier, your retention system, your mindset shift, your communication habits, you become irreplaceable. Okay? All right, now let's get real for a second because even with all of this in place, there will still be times when a client is thinking about canceling. Let's dive into our next point. Point number five, how to save a client before they cancel. Sometimes a client will start to fade away, even if you do everything right, even if you communicate, add value, and celebrate wins. They'll go quiet, flies slow down. Maybe they stop approving invoices right away. And deep down, you just feel it, something's off. Now, this is the make or break moment because how you handle the stage will decide whether you save that client or lose them for good. So let's talk about what to do step by step when a client starts pulling away. Watch for silence. The first warning sign is silence. When a client who normally replies within a few hours suddenly takes 2 days, that's not random. That's your cue. And a lot of people ignore it. They think, oh, they're just busy. But here's the truth, silence is communication. When someone goes quiet, it usually means something's not feeling right. So instead of waiting and hoping they'll message you first, reach out quickly. Don't overthinking. Just something simple like, hey, just wanted to check in. How are things going with your recent batch of leads? By catching it early, you give yourself a chance to fix it before it turns into a cancellation. Now, you got to ask before assuming. Now, this part is important. When you sense something's off, don't assume you know the problem. Instead, just ask something like, hey, I noticed you've been a bit quiet lately. Just wanted to make sure everything's okay, or if there's something I can improve on my end. That kind of message does two things. It shows you care, you're not defensive, you're curious. It makes it safe for them to be honest with you because sometimes the issue isn't about results. It could be timing, cash flow, or even internal chaos on their end. But if you don't ask, you'll never know. You'll lose a client you could have saved. Clients respect transparency and empathy more than perfection. So if you can just be open, calm, and genuinely interested in their side of the story, they'll often tell you what's really going on. Now, once they tell you what's wrong, this is where most people mess up. They start defending themselves. Oh, well, the leads were qualified, or that's not my fault. Don't do that. Instead, solve it. Let's say they say, we're not getting as many calls this week. Your response should sound like, got it. Let me pull some leads from your top zip codes and see if that picks up. I'll check back in 2 days. See the difference? You didn't argue. You didn't explain. You took action. And that changes the whole energy. You go from vendor who disappointed them to a partner who's already fixing it. Even if the issue wasn't technically your fault, it doesn't matter. Clients stay with people who make their life easier, not harder. Solve first, explain later. And on partnership, not desperation. And sometimes, despite your best effort, the client still decides to pause or cancel, and that's okay. What matters most is how you end things. Don't burn the bridge, don't guilt trip them. Say something like, totally understand, I'll be here whenever you're ready to restart. I really enjoyed working with you. That's it. Calm, friendly, confident. You're showing emotional maturity, not desperation. And you know what happens? People remember that. I can't tell you how many clients have come back to me months later, not because they needed more leads, but because they remembered how I treated them when they left. Because in business, how you handle someone leaving says a lot more about you than how you handle them joining. It's not just professionalism, it's character. And in a space full of people chasing quick money, that kind of energy stands out a mile away. All right, let's wrap this up. We just talked through the 5 simple but game changing steps of my client retention strategy. Let's do a quick recap. Understand why clients leave. It's usually emotional, not performance based. They leave when they stop feeling supported and, loved as well. Shift from vendor to partner. Stop selling, start collaborating. Talk like someone who's in the business with them. Build a simple system. Track your clients, follow up consistently, and make sure nobody slips through the cracks. Create value touchpoints. Don't just check in, add value, share insights, celebrate their wins, and show up like a real ally. Save them before they cancel. Stay proactive, listen without ego, and leave every conversation with empathy, not desperation. If you just implement these 5 steps, even at a basic level, you'll see your churn drop, your relationships deepen, and your income stabilize. Maybe even double, like mine did. Because when you focus on retention, you stop building a business that's constantly chasing new clients, and you start building one that grows naturally month after month. And hey, if you're watching this and thinking, Jem, this all sounds great, but I don't even have enough clients yet, that's literally where I come in. I help business owners get leads, real, qualified, ready to buy leads, so you can focus on delivering your service instead of constantly chasing your business. So if you want to fill your pipeline this week, just comment leads below or hit the links in the description to just get started. Before you go, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. I've got tons of upcoming content on how to grow, how to scale, how to retain clients the real way. Thanks for watching. I'm Jem Mulnu, and I'll see you in the next one.